You asked, I ignored you, but I am listening now. Today we're going to be playing with the About Face, what are these actually called? Fluid eye paints. I only have the matte ones. They were gifted to me by a friend, so we're just gonna play with them. These kind of inspire me to be like artsy. I do want to kind of like make my own blush. I know it says that they're eye paints. Why can't they be multi-purpose paints? Now, I don't know if these are lip safe, so I don't know if they're lip safe, so I'm not going to put them on my lips, but I will put them on my cheek because, like, if it's eye safe, why can't I put it on my cheek? I'm going to swatch all of these for you really quick before we jump into anything else. These were sent to me by my friend Andromeda on Instagram. I will put their Instagram handle on the screen and I will also link it down below. And they sent me two little trios. I'm not sure which colors belong in which trio because I didn't pay that much attention because I'm bad at my job, but I do have 6. So these are minis, but I think all of the shades that are in these are also available in full size, so we can learn from that. While we're not going to really learn about like longevity or anything today, I just want to see like how they apply, if I like them, kind of maybe compare them to my experiences with other kinds of paints that are similar to this kind of thing, and I will let you know. Let me swatch them real quick, and I will show you. So from top to bottom, we have Scream of Consciousness. It's Blitz. I think it says No Queen Blues, the blue one. Blue Monday, Vertigo Flower, and La Zona Rosa. I don't know why I said that with an accent, but I did. Look at them. So kind of off the bat, this darker blue seems pretty weak. The other shades all look consistently pigmented, but that one looks patchy. Like in the swatch, which should be its like best go at not looking patchy. So pretty nervous to really play with that one. I think that this shade would be a good blush, but I don't know why. I like want to mix some colors. So I might make a purple with the red and the blue. And I might add more of that. So I want it to be mostly that color with like a little bit of a purple undertone. We'll see if I can do that. I'm also going to mix it with the Orc Glowless to kind of give it a vehicle since these are eye paints and kind of give myself some time to like work with them. So I am going to just use a mixing palette. That's what these are for. Like professional makeup artists, this is how they would mix your color if they were like working out of a cream palette or something like that. So that's my vision. That's what I feel like Halsey's trying to tell me to do. That's what they want me to do. So I'm going to try to do it. I'm just going to take this shade, whatever it was called. And the only thing about the shorter doe foots is that I feel like I'm going to have to like work off the side of my mixing palette here a little bit more. I know that these are like called the fluid eye paints, and I'm like speaking about something that maybe it wasn't intended to do, but I really wish that like I see now why someone like Danessa Myricks, who has like a similar product in a squeezy tube, I see why she might do that. It just feels like it would be easier to squirt them out, less contamination. And if it doesn't have a doe foot, then you're for sure not going to be able to stick anything in it to contaminate it, like as a working professional makeup artist. And then I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to mix that together just to kind of see what it looks like. I don't know if I made a pretty color. We'll see. Well, I am going to mix Glow Lust in with it. But honestly, I kind of made like an old gum color. Honestly, that's kind of a slay of a nude blush. I'm going to mix in the Glow Lust with it. So we're going to have a little bit of a sheen. That should also brighten it up a bit, make it a little more wearable for my skin tone, because like that does seem a little bit dark on there. And you know, I think that this video, it probably won't be very long, it's a very long video, but this is just a reminder that like makeup's meant to be like played with like this. And I think brands like About Face, especially like at the price point it's at, is like, it's a reminder. Like, you know, as Beyonce once said, this is a reminder. This is a reminder. I don't know the quote. Call me a fake fan. I am gonna like play with it on the back of my hand just to see how pigmented it is. I think I'm gonna have to tread lightly here, but let's give it a go. Honestly, that's a really pretty blush color. That's pretty. Okay, someone call me up. Let's do a blush collab. I'll probably never be able to make this color again. Let's still dab it off on the back of my hand. Ooh, I went too hard on this side. I went too hard on this side. I don't know that I'm going to use every color of these. on my eyes today. Like, we could try, but I think my main goals on my eye, like my eyes today, so I'm gonna try to do something a little bit graphic. I want to definitely do some like blended out things too, just to like see how they work. I will prime one of my eyes and I will not prime the other eye just to see if that matters at all. I won't even set it with a powder because that's what I normally do, but like I don't know how these would play on top of a powder. So that's the game plan going forward on the eye look. And I'm not really great at graphic things, so we're gonna be really nice to me when I try that, okay? We're gonna be so nice to Tom. Listen, I'm tired. I'm gonna also finish the rest of my face. Gonna throw on like highlighter, bronzer, and kind of finish powdering my face too before we come back and do that. But honestly, what a slay of a blush color. Slay. They slew. The slay slow song. I also should be completely honest with you. I have used one of these on my eyes before a couple of times. I don't remember feeling any kind of way about it. I feel like not feeling any kind of way about a product, like if I don't have strong feelings about it, is almost worse than it being like not a good product for me. Just because I'm like, wow, you were such a non-event that I didn't even care. I think for the eyes, I'm going to try to keep it like the bright poppy colors because I feel like the blush is kind of like nude enough to carry something bright like this. Probably not going to use the red. I might invite one of these two colors back into the fold, but I do think I really want to like play with these kinds of colors. So I'm going to prime my right eye, so it'll be on the left side of your screen, with the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base, and then I'm going to leave my other eye bare. And just for context, my eyes are pretty oily, and typically if I don't prime them, like my eye will eat right on up whatever I put on it. I usually prime even when I'm testing eyeshadows. Liquid shadows, I'm a little like faster and looser with, but I figured it would be worth it for the challenge of today's events. I think I want to do is use this green shade, the Vertigo Flower shade. I'm a little bit afraid to draw it on my eyes because I think whenever I first used one of these, I did like smeared it all over my eyes and I felt like I got way too much product. What I'm going to do this time is I'm actually going to like just take it off of the brush and I'm just going to do like garage door eyes just to see how it blends and how it applies with the brush. This is a synthetic brush from BK Beauty. I would recommend using a synthetic brush with like a liquid. And I still feel like that was way too much. Like I did not need that much. And I just, you know, I wasn't trying to take too much of it off of the applicator, but like, I feel like it just kind of like immediately said, I'm gonna go do whatever I want, Tom, and what you say doesn't really matter here. Let me zoom you in so you can see a little bit better. On the right eye with the primer, it definitely has much more intense pigment. Like it is much more green than it is on this side. I think you can see it on camera. I'm looking at my viewfinder. In real life, it's like pretty stark how much different the green they are. I have a feeling that this wouldn't last long on my eye. It's not, the product isn't catching there, which is like where my eye crease is, and it's lighter all along my crease. It's more apparent on this side with no primer. I would have to prime my eyes with the way my eyes are for sure if I was going to use this kind of thing. I might even put it on top of powders to give it maybe even more longevity. That color is pretty cool. I don't know that it's like my color. Like I don't know that it's a color that like I would wear a lot, but it's cool. And so next what I want to do, I want to make like stars, like little, not like 5-point stars, but like the like sparkles. So the brush I want to use isn't over here, so let me go get it. I don't really do a lot of this kind of thing. So we're going to be so kind to Tom in the comments. We're going to support them and appreciate their dedication to the craft. I'm not saying it's the best, but it ain't the worst. D to the E to the T to the O to the whole X. I am having a little bit of trouble making this kind of work. So like I was wondering if these might work well as like alternatives to liquid liner for some like bright colors. I don't know their whole line by heart, by the way, but like that feels like something they should have if they don't have it. Because I'm just trying to like draw a line here with this brush and it like, it really doesn't wanna. It's like giving me a lot of grief. And that could also be the brush. You know, I'm using a very thin liner brush. Perhaps I just need something with a little more something to it. I'm gonna switch to a different type of brush. I'm gonna use an angle brush and we'll see how that goes. I'm not hopeful for these graphically. It does feel like they want to dry on the brush pretty quickly after I like start blending them. So it happened on this brush. Part of the product dried on some of the fibers, and then when I was trying to like draw it, like the dried fibers were like just along for the ride and not really doing anything and just kind of making it really difficult. It's not feeling like that this would be what's designed for it. It almost feels to me like you might want to, like if you are trying to do something like that with them, that you might want to mix it with like something like a little bit of like Duraline or a little bit of like Mayron mixing liquid. But I'm gonna try it on this liner brush with the blue shade. Okay, that's working a little bit better. And that might also have to do with the brush too. You know, I'm still fresh to these. And also I will say, if you've watched my channel like ever, you'll know that these are like not my typical looks. I'm gonna give up on the little stars. This brush is synthetic. The BK Beauty brush I used at the beginning was synthetic. The rougher brush I was just using is not synthetic. And it does seem to me that the synthetic brushes are doing just a much better job holding the product and manipulating it. But also that brush is like very teensy tiny. Might be one of the two things, but I'm thinking that synthetics would be the way to go brush wise if you're gonna like play with it, because that worked just fine. That worked really beautifully. This eye is the eye that, you know, the child would bring home from like doing an art project in preschool and be like, Tata, aren't you proud of me? And I'd have to go, yeah, I'm so proud of you. Can't wait to have to look at that. I'm just kidding, by the way. Children's art is like pretty cute, even though it's not art at the point where we're at with the child here. An adult will draw like a pig and then the kids will take their hands covered in like brown paint and like that's the whole thing. Sorry, I'm out of frame. I need my elbows on the table. I need them on the table. Whatever the formula is, it's nice because once it's dry. And you're probably like, okay, but something like a water activated liner, if you're not like really talented and skilled, if you overlap on it, the liquid reconstitutes and it becomes like liquidy again, like the color does. It comes off with water. This does not reconstitute the shades. So like you can kind of do this like double layered look without them really blending together. My line's not super crisp, but like I was able to do that. Here are my like initial learnings with this. I think they're best when they're blended out. So that would be my best use case for scenario, to be kind of like a base for an eyeshadow look. So like a neutral brown or like whatever, you know, or maybe like a color if I was like doing a colorful look, to kind of be like the base layer of the look. But I would still need to put a primer underneath it because I can just tell already that it wouldn't hold up on my eyelid without the primer. The color is just much brighter on this eye than it is on this eye. So that's why I would do the primer as well. I think that synthetic brushes are the way to go. That was definitely the easiest way to use them. I think they're pretty cool. I get the appeal. I don't know that in this bright, colorful format that it would be something that I would use a lot of. I just don't do a lot of colorful looks. Like, it's certainly fun to play with, but even as a tool when I choose to do colorful looks, I just don't think that this is something I would get a lot of value out of, especially because I even found it difficult to work with as like a graphic liner. And if there was one thing I think I would want them to be like a multi-use thing for, I think I would like for it to, you know, play well as a liner as well. If they would advertise these more as like a multi-use product, I think that'd be pretty cool. And I also think if we're going to do it as a multi-use product, I think what Dennis and Myric's doing is a little better. Now, there are certainly flaws in this because the top of this, the little nozzle on this popped right on off because the product dries in the nozzle. And then when you try to squeeze new product out, it's just a mess. It's just disaster. So I think that like this vehicle is definitely like easier in that way. But I think to inspire me to use it in multiple ways, even on my eye, I think that having a doe foot makes me feel like I'm supposed to just put it directly on my eyelid, where we found out that we can make something really beautiful if we mix them together. And they also sell, I think the one pack was just like the primary colors. And if you're selling me a pack of primary colors, to me that's saying, hey, mix your own colors, right? Because you could, all colors start with these 3 colors. Then we make secondary, and you know, that's the vibe that I get from something like this. Like, it's like mix and play. And I just don't think that they feel designed to mix and play. Whenever you're taking them onto like a mixing palette or on the back of your hand, there's not enough on the doe foot for it to stay like liquidy enough. It like starts to dry very quickly if you're going to use it in that manner. Now, I know that not everyone's going to use it in that manner, but I just feel like it dried pretty quickly. Now, not when I was blending it out on my eyes, but I feel like when I was trying to do like the liner work, it dried on the brush pretty quickly. And I think that there are pros and cons to something like this drying quickly, right? Like if I'm blending it out and it sets, that's pretty nice. But yeah, like with liners and stuff, you want it to have like a little bit of time for you to like have it be malleable. And I just don't think it has that kind of longevity. I don't think that these are going to be a perfect product for me in any kind of way, but I like them. You know, I think I could still like them and appreciate them. And I know they come in some really cool colors. There's like some grayish one. There's like a gray purple one. I don't know what it's called, but it's like this light gray purple. And I always, like every time I think that I was going to buy one of these, that was the color I was going to buy. I see the appeal, but I don't know that these would spend a long time in my collection. I don't feel like I'm done playing with them yet. I just don't know what capacity I would like to continue playing with them. This one that I mostly used for the base of the blush, this one I feel like I can use in a regular eyeshadow look because sometimes I'll do like a pinky eyeshadow look, and I think this is useful in that manner. But the rest of the 5 colors that I had to like be very purposeful about like wanting to use them in such a way. It's not for me. I didn't put mascara or liner on or anything because I am going to redo my makeup so I could do this fashion video and feel more confident. I might just wipe off the eyes though. But what I will say is when I wiped the swatches off, it took some muscle. That leads me to believe that there is probably really good longevity on them if they're on parts of my face that aren't riddled with oil, like the creases of my eyes. So I feel like it'll hold up on the other parts of my face quite well. Like, I think if I wore this blush as a blush all day, I think it would like look really good. And now that I made that blush, I'm like, that blush is really pretty and I want it. But I feel like I have it. I feel like it's like 7 of the blushes I own. But I'm like, but what about this? I could do this. This is blush. Anyway, that's gonna wrap up this video. This was mostly just to play around with these. I wouldn't take this as like a full review of these products. I wouldn't say that like you should take these as gospel and run with it. I feel like I'm constantly in a battle with like the makeup artist and makeup wearer I am. Like the makeup artist in me really wants to like do bright, colorful looks, and the makeup wearer in me is like, that's not really what I like to wear. So it's like I'm at constant odds with it because I like think 3 years ago, or like when I got into makeup, these would have been like something I would have adored and loved as they are. But I just think like right now it's like they're just not my cup of tea when it comes to makeup taste. Okay. Anyway, if you happen to be new to my channel, hi, welcome. Most of my channel is not like weird first impressions like this, and I wouldn't even call this a first impression. I wouldn't call it a review. It's just something that exists in the ether.
You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
That's how this video felt for me. But most of my channel is mostly trying to love my makeup collection as it currently is, while being critical about new makeup releases and help myself and help you build the habit of just being more discerning about what we're buying. And I try to really focus on that first and foremost. So if that sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. Share this video with someone you might think will find this interesting or helpful or just entertaining. I don't know. We surely went on our journey today. I'm on Instagram at hautemesstom if you want to follow me over there. And I'm on Patreon and I have channel memberships if you want to support the channel further. It's not a better way to support my channel. It's just a different way to support my channel. I do a weekly playlist over there. I also do additional content over there. So you can check that out if you want. There's no pressure to join over there though. But thank you all my current members and patrons. You're the best. And now I need to redo my makeup. Let me go. Let you go. Remember. I don't know where I was going with that. My brain really was like, Okay, and remember to follow your hoe and you will find me. And I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth, tits out.